Okay. So, just kidding. I always wanted to start a video like that. Look, I wanted to make this video because of a few things. One is, one is a comment I received on a video recently that I want to get into here in 1 second. And it's not just that comment, but it's an overall feeling I've been having lately while streaming Unite. And yeah, let's talk about this comment. I'm just gonna pull it up right now. I'm gonna start with this. This comment is definitely not the inspiration for this video, but once I read it, it's just true. Well, let me read it. This is from Graph or something. This was 6 days ago. So 6 days ago, I made a video talking about the matchmaking changes in Pokemon Unite. And needless to say, I've been pretty critical about the matchmaking changes. Here's the thing. If you never told me it changed, I could only be so annoyed, right? But you told me it changed, and then I think you made some mistakes with it. Also, I think it's just confusing how it's confusing to me that the steps to make it actually work weren't followed, so we didn't really learn anything from it. Too long, didn't read for all that or watch any of my videos. If they're not allocating the points how they said they would allocate the points, what's going to happen is all of the points are, everyone's going to pool basically in the same spot. And even if they don't, considering that every player is pooled in the same spot, generally, even players that are outside of that are paired together. So it really doesn't change much because you're not allowing anyone with different win rates to climb, right? Ideally, in a more balanced matchmaking system, you should rise or fall to your level of competency. And in a matchmaking system where between the win rates of 30% and 58% or something like that, there is no difference, which is going to be 90% of the player base. You're not going to move at all. Anyway, you know, I was kind of ranting about that because it was upsetting, and I think the main reason is because I was very hopeful. Oh, by the way, I'm sure it's already happened, but I won't just have my face talking throughout this. I'll have gameplay and stuff in the background. I understand this is gonna be just like one of those TikTok videos where you've got the screen of people talking up here, and down here they're like slicing Play-Doh or something. So just so you're not bored just listening to me ramble on. Anyway, that was annoying. I was hopeful it would be better. I think at best it was the same, but more likely at worst it was worse, for a very specific reason. And I wish there was more care and attention given to stuff like that and other stuff in the game, but I've talked about this before. That being said, I got this comment, and it's here. It said, "I feel bad for the content cowboy." Yeehaw, by the way. "I watched him a long time ago, and he was pretty much always positive and funny. Caught a couple live streams recently, and he was checking team member win percent and frustrated. To break him in such a way." Pokemon Unite should send flowers, chocolate, and a card with an apology. "Don't corrupt Spragels Pokemon Unite. He's a good bean." So, one thing that, this is something I've been thinking about before this comment. It's just something that's been weighing on me recently, is that while I have been playing Unite, maybe, I don't know how long it's been, but for the last X amount of, months playing Unite, it hasn't been as fun for me. And, well, that's not even right. It's not that it isn't fun. I think the thing that's amazing about Unite is the game is extremely fun. They made a really, really fun game. All the Pokemon are fun to play. It's really satisfying. Like, everything around it, there are lots of issues around it, but the actual gameplay is really, really fun. But I have noticed, and the new matchmaking has made this worse, it feels like the match quality sometimes is really poor. And a lot of the reason you would see me checking win rates and stuff, because that's something I never really like to do. By the way, you always know before you look. It's either their profile set to private or it's 46%. You know before you look at it that you're insta-lock Decidueye in the last pick of draft when we obviously don't need a Decidueye. You already know before looking. And Yeah, and I'm not really interested in shaming a particular player or anything. The reason I was looking at it a lot in the recent couple seasons is because I was trying to illustrate the point of what they've done with matchmaking is actually creating a it's created less ideal games. And the reason I say that is because where previously you would get thrown into a game with a player who maybe has played 10,000 games but they're not very good at it, now you are more often, you're still getting thrown into games with those players, you're also getting thrown into games with players who have 200 games. And I mean, I played with someone in the chat the other day that had like a couple hundred games, and well, of course they're doing weird stuff. They don't know what's going on, and they're using their Unite move at 230, and they're kind of wandering around in certain moments. How could they not be? How could they not be? Part of the issue is their player base is only so large, so players got to get matched up somehow. Anyway, moving on from that. The other part of it is true. I've been more frustrated. I think I've been more frustrated because the quality of the matches have not improved. They have gotten worse. The player base has not improved in skill, at least in the matches you get to play. They've gotten worse. Now, this is possibly not true for competitive play, right? That's quite different. It feels like the competitive landscape is probably the most exciting thing happening with Pokemon Unite. And it's also true that I was more often I was having a good time. I was pretty positive, even though, interestingly enough, even though I was winning a similar amount of games. I've gotten better at the game, but it hasn't changed the outcome of many of the matches. And there are lots of games where you win and you don't even feel good that you won. You're like, I know what I have to do to win this, and I don't like it. I don't like that. I know I'm gonna have to steal in some crazy way right here, and I know my ally is gonna go back. He's been back capping all game. Like, you win these games, you're like, well, that didn't feel great. And then every once in a while you lose, you just get like turbo stomped, and your team is griefing, and you're like, well, that doesn't feel great. And the matches that feel really, really good, especially in solo queue, the matches that feel really, really good, I feel like has been getting smaller and smaller, right? Even though you can still win some of the really bad ones, man, some of the matches are so chaotic. And some of the games, like the enemy team, you look at the enemy team and you think, well, this isn't fun for them, right? I mean, I am just dumpstering them, right? I'm like absolutely stomping on them all game. Players are basically walking up to me and just feeding right now. I remember I was on stream the other day, and this is when Rapidash was just phenomenally busted. This is when Rapidash came out. And I remember someone being like, I saw Chris Heroes just did 200,000 with Rapidash. And I thought, or I said and thought, I did both at the same time. I said and thought, well, that's horrible. I know he's a great player, but that just means he's farming absolute, like, they should never be in the same galaxy, these players. He's just farming them with an unstoppable pony running back and forth. And they're walking up to him. I'm going to get him. Anyway. So that I think has been particularly frustrating. But another part about it that I have to take ownership of is I don't think I've been approaching the game with the, I don't know, maybe level of stoicism that I've had in the past. The fact of the matter is, you can't control so much of this game. You can't control so much in your life. You can't control so much of the world. And I try to spend a lot of time focused on what I can control. And more often lately, I'm focused on the things I can't control, and it can drive you a little crazy, Like, I can't control the matches. I can't control the matchmaking. I can't control the fact that we don't have the China update. I can't control the fact that players are understandably frustrated with some of the monetization policies. I can't control that they've implemented some of those policies. There's so many things I can't control. And I feel like I've spent a little too much of my mental and emotional energy. I'm like an energy being, guys. I feel like I've spent a little too much of my mental and emotional, for lack of a better word, energy on things I can't control. So I don't know what I can do about this because it's something I've clocked in myself, and it's something that I've tried to, you know, tried to fix a bit. And you run into this difficult situation as a creator that's like focused on a particular game. You run into this tough situation where the decisions that happen in the game and the match quality and all these things directly affect me. So there's that part sort of in your head. And then you also run into, you run into this situation where you start to feel like I can't like pull myself out of it just because I have to go, hey, have fun. Like, you can't do that. Because when you try to do that, you'll just like sink right back into it. I think for me, I need to really reset my mentality around Unite. I need to love it for what it is, hope for better things, and understand what it is doing and what may or may not ever change, right? I don't know if the matchmaking will ever get better. I think the only thing that actually would make it get better is more players. I don't know if we'll ever get the China update. Boy, I hope we do. It's really cool. It's such a cool version of the game, and the auto chess mode, I mean, you guys may have seen me play it on the channel, is really good. I hope we get all that stuff. I don't know if we will, but I have to come to Unite with a different energy. And I think there are some positives and some negatives about it. More positives for sure. I don't think I can care as much, as unfortunate as this sounds, as I can't care as much as to what is happening in the match. Sometimes I can't care that much about how badly some of the games are paired together. I have to spend more time focused on enjoying the things that are enjoyable inside it. And that's what I want to bring you with this game. It's just something I've been thinking about lately. I want to have more fun and be more positive. I don't like sitting there frustrated and just having really rough matches one way or another, right? Like, truly, sometimes you're just crushing the enemy and you think, well, great. I don't really want to have that and just be upset with it. So I think I need to approach it with a different mentality. I need to bring that same level of stoicism that I had about the game in the beginning to this. Like, the fact of the matter is, you can never control your allies. I cannot force them to do anything. I cannot get them better in the match. I couldn't hop on the mic and yell. Like, there's nothing I can do. I can just play my role and do what I'm doing as best as I possibly can and try to have the most fun possible. So I think this is just a long video of me talking about feeling frustrated, feeling like it's hard to kind of get out of it, because I think what you try to do a little bit is you try to almost fake it till you make it, You're like, oh, cool, let's check this out. Like, no, I think what I have to do is actually create my own fun and be having a good time, rather than expecting that if I'm just like, I don't know, trying to farm a video or something like that, it's going to be a good time. So I think it's going to change the way I stream this game. It's going to change the way I approach this game. I still care about playing it well, and I want to showcase that as best as I can, but there was a term that I remember I was when I used to play with this group, the Stream Team Dream Team, which was very fun, and I might start bringing more stuff like that back. Every once in a while, I'd play with like a group of streamers, and we just kind of joke around and have a good time. And one thing that I think Steve, my cat, was a great player and a really amazing Zarina player, kind of coined us as, or me, and then like him as well, is like moderate tryhards. And I think that's right. I don't want to be the champion of this game. I don't. I don't want to be the champion of any game. First off, I'm not 19 years old. I'm 22 now. But I don't want to be the champion of it. I want to play it and have fun, and I want to get excited about the exciting parts of it, and I want to share that with you. I never wanted to make content as some, like, I've got to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my all right. But yeah, I want to bring that energy back. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this with you all because it's 100% true. I have been more frustrated. I have been more negative. Just kind of more tilted at times because Greninja did something or the items were weird or no one showed up to Ray. But I don't want to keep listing things that make me mad. So yeah, I want to approach this game with a better attitude and a different mentality. Long rambling video, but I felt like I wanted to talk about it. I want to talk about it with all of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate you. I love you guys, and I will see you all next time. I'll be on the broadcast live Sunday. Can't wait. Again, some of the best in stuff in Unite is the UCS, like watching those pros play in the best environment possible, 5v5 with incredible players. So much fun. All right, bye guys. We did it.